Have you actually thought about starting your own podcast? I know a lot of people feel like they've got something to say, but the idea of recording and editing and just getting it out there feels really overwhelming. And I get it. In fact, I've already done a podcast and then I stopped and then I try to start it again. I've been there. I know what it's like, and it becomes hard again. And there's some things in this world that just make things easy. So what if I told you I found a way to make it easier? And in fact, you can actually start today with just your laptop, and it's a tool. It's called Riverside FM. It has come so far, and it is a game changer. I've also actually been a guest on podcasts using Riverside. I just got to say, it's freaking awesome. And I'm going to be using it myself, and more on that later. So what is Riverside? Riverside is basically this software that you can just dial in, which makes recording audio and video extremely easy, but at a studio level. So you can get your 4K, crisp audio, great audio, incredible video, and it's just so much easier and better than, say, using a recording of a Zoom. Like, the quality level is top tier. No matter what kind of connection you have on the internet, it's independent. It just works. Real quick, this is how easy it is. You just go to your studio, you just pick a couple little settings. I join studio. I copy this, send that out to the person, be like, cool, you're good. Or I can record a solo studio thing like this. It's really easy. You can have chat notes if this is live on YouTube whenever you stream it versus just recording to the drive. You stop it just like that, and then it uploads. I recommend waiting about 10 to 15 minutes before closing the whole studio on both ends, both your end and the other person's. It's really that easy. I just really think that if you're going to invest in a podcast, well, you should be investing in making it easier. And then bonus, if you try to make it easier with Riverside, then you get to that next level of getting the super high quality. So all you have to do is just send out an invite to the guest to invite it, and you're good to go. It's super easy. Really, for me, it's about lowering the stress. I love to find the path of least resistance. Maybe I'm lazy or whatever, but to take the stress out of recording and editing, having it just all in one place, you can do all the edits and the crisp audio and stuff. More on that, I'm going to tell you a bit, but I've done things the hard way, and having all the control and 20 different softwares and stuff. And not only is it expensive, but it's a lot more work. But now there's companies like Riverside that come out and really just put it all together. So if you want it to look really professional, but having it easy to make it professional, so you can just edit by the transcript, edit in the timeline, you can adjust your audio and video, instead of, say, spending the hours and hours of just controlling everything, downloading, exporting. You just go into the things that's important. It's an 80-20 rule. And I promise you, it's the fastest way to do any kind of podcast editing. Highlight what you want to change, and it's done. And the AI magic clips thing, it's perfect if you would just want to quickly just chop something up, again, making your life easier, to something shareable for social media or whatever. So I'm about to use Riverside for my own podcast. Now, I have a couple tests going, and I'm super pumped about it. And honestly, it's really making everything exciting going forward. I used to dread the idea of doing the editing and recording and sending out links and trying to link up with what people have to have. Do I have to send them a microphone? All of these things have just overwhelmed. So now that I've found Riverside, it's all I have to do is just send them a link, and I can do all the editing and socials and audio editing and timeline stuff and all that stuff. It's it's a no-brainer. So just not worrying about all of the things that I'm extremely technically savvy in. I just have it do it for me, in a sense. It's just awesome. Doing it solo or just interviewing the guests, it makes me able to focus on just the person at hand and the thing that I really wanted to do, instead of worrying about all of the extra software. So Riverside really makes me feel like I'm in good hands. The result is just very professional, even though I'm just doing it at home. Now, this is just my house, what you're seeing here. Now I have 2 lights and 1 light and my camera. I'm ultra basic and minimalist with everything. So for me, it just makes sense to just be able to have my laptop, good lighting, and Riverside. That's all I want. Oh, and of course, my microphone, which I do suggest is more important than any lighting or camera. So if you are ready to actually start the podcast, there's no other better way that I have found than using Riverside. So if you're looking for a way to get crystal clear audio, great studio quality, everything, video, the 4K video, all of it, I cannot recommend Riverside enough. I've been talking about it to everybody for a really long time. Yes, this video is sponsored, and you know me, I do not work with sponsorships. I haven't taken one for years, but I really wanted to with this one because I do stand behind it. In just a minute, I'll tell you why Riverside is so aligned with me. If you are interested in it, check the link in the description and I'll have an exclusive code for you to get started. And trust me, you'll thank me later. You want to get on podcasts. I'm going to be talking about this more, and I will be doing a bonus video suggesting Riverside again, so you'll hear more about it. And those are not sponsored, but truly, it's great. So now on the topic of podcasts and why, I was like, well, I'm super pumped of talking with Riverside because it really aligned, because I've been talking about relaunching my podcast. And it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. I've probably been talking about this for about 9 months now, and I'm just so overwhelmed with the business and everything. I just didn't have time for it. So now I'm really excited to launch that. And this is my little bit of accountability thing. So it's finally happening. I'm super pumped. I have a list of people that have agreed to it and that I have on the future, and it's going to grow. It's going to grow my business online. Can't wait to have you guys see this whole thing unravel, and you will know it will all be processed through Riverside, because I truly believe it is the best video podcast platform anywhere. Don't forget that you can also start your own podcast. It's really easy. Start today and start with Riverside. Peace.